Have you ever thought about how amazing numbers are? They are everywhere. You use them to check the time, count your pocket money, see how many likes your video got. Numbers are like a secret code that helps us understand the world. Without them, we couldn't build tall skyscrapers. We couldn't fly in airplanes. We couldn't even bake a yummy cake because we wouldn't know how much flour to use. Mathematics is the big fancy word for using numbers, shapes, and patterns. It's not just about boring sums in a textbook. It's a giant, exciting adventure story. This story started a very, very long time ago. Let's travel way, way back in time. Imagine a world without calendars, without clocks, without computers. This was the world of early humans, tens of thousands of years ago. Hunters, gatherers. They didn't have shops to buy food. They had to find it themselves. But even then, they needed to count. They needed to know how many people were in their tribe, track the passing of days, remember how many animals they saw on a hunt. But how could they count without any numbers? They used what they had around them. Fingers were probably the very first calculator. The first real evidence of counting comes from ancient bones and sticks. Archaeologists have found amazing things like the Ashango bone discovered in Africa. This bone is over 20,000 years old. Now, let's fast forward a few thousand years. Humans started to settle down. They built villages, towns, magnificent cities. Great civilizations began to rise in places like Egypt and Mesopotamia. The ancient Egyptians were master builders and engineers. Just look at the Great Pyramids. They developed a number system based on the number 10, just like we use today. They had special picture symbols called hieroglyphs, for 1, 10, 100, 1,000, and so on. They were also brilliant at geometry. The River Nile flooded every year, washing away field markers. The Egyptians used geometry to measure and redraw the boundaries perfectly every single time. Meanwhile, in Mesopotamia, between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, the Babylonians were also becoming math wizards. They pressed marks into soft clay tablets with a stylus. Their writing is called cuneiform. The Babylonians were incredible astronomers who watched the stars and planets. Our next stop is ancient Greece, and this is where math gets a major upgrade. The Greeks were not just interested in what worked. They wanted to know why it worked. They were not content with just using a rule. They wanted to prove that the rule was true, always and forever. This was a huge change in thinking. One of the most famous Greek geeks was Pythagoras. You've probably heard of his theorem about right-angled triangles. It says that if you take the two shorter sides, square them, and add them together, you get the square of the longest side. Pythagoras